Fellow Toastmasters, my dear guests. Today we have a very special meeting and a collaborative meeting with Delhi Toastmasters Club, where we will be using both our synergies to create new awesome experience. And I would like to welcome all of you to the meeting. And before going further, let me tell you briefly about the Toastmasters. It was started by Ralph Smedley to initially it was to induce people for public speaking, but eventually it became a leadership platform, and where people would come together, they will be inspired by each other and not only learn communication but much more. And that is one of the mission statement of the club as well. As you can see on my screen, just one. This is the mission statement, where we provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop communication and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth. So there is a element of community where we learn from mistakes of each other, and we also get inspired by each other. So moving on, as you come to a house, there are rules. So is the case with the Toastmasters Club. We have three very important meeting rules. One is, since this is a digital platform, please keep your mics closed unless you are not speaking. Second is, please refrain from controversial topics such as religion, sex, or politics that might hurt people's feeling. And the final is, as Jesus has said, do to others what you want to be done to you. So be very enthusiastic. Please appreciate people live with the use emojis, use comment section, so that they may be motivated to do well. And now moving on to the theme of the day. So it's on memory, and somehow memory training has changed my life, because I used to be like the guy who would go to a place with a cycle and walk by home without it. I would forget everything, and then I took this book. It's a book where they teach you to do memory in a fun way, like by creating mnemonic story, and post that everything changed. Now memory thing is just like a kiddish challenge for me, and I have really developed, like I am the example who developed by methods and by no innate natural challenge. And I'm sure our experienced Toastmaster Bhagwan will do a great job in teaching us about the memory. That is the theme of the day. Now, with that being said, I would like to invite the president of the Toastmaster Club, Manish, to take the meeting forward. Over to you, Manish.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shivai, for sharing your experiences. So, first of all, good evening, everyone, to a very warm welcome. With a very warm welcome to a joint meeting of Noida Toastmasters Club and Toastmasters of Delhi Club. So, we wholeheartedly welcome all our friends, all our past members even. So, there are a bunch of past members, Noida Toastmasters Club members who moved on to Delhi. So, very warm welcome to them as well. So, I would like to start off the topic by sharing with you the feeling which I got when I came to know of this joint meeting. So the first thing I said or read was there was DTM Amelia and then there was DTM Shayad. So the first thing that raised across my mind was, wow, so they have two DTMs right in front in their EC, and that sort of led to a feeling of inadequacy, like sort of made me feel a little inadequate in a way that are we doing a good job? Maybe we don't have that much competence compared to other clubs who have DTMs in their club. So I think that sort of invigorated a small little spark in me that when you are in your Toastmasters journey or in life in general, so you might come across many scenarios where you are faced with challenges like if you are in a new professional setting, You might feel like someone who's older than you, who's there, who has been there for a while, you feel like maybe they're doing such a great job. Oh, they're such a great speaker. Like if you're doing a role for the very first time, you might feel like, oh wow, the person that did it last time did so fantastically. And you might not be able to crush it, or you might not be competent enough right now. But I think that's what pushes you in a way to become a little better. So I think seeing all these DTMs together in a room makes you want to push yourself to maybe someday achieve that title of DTM yourself. So I think that's the essence of Toastmasters, and it gives you a small glimpse towards life in general as well. So there's something always to look up to, even if you're a DTM. I'm sure DTM Shahid here would have some things he would be looking up to for his next tenure and for his Toastmasters journey as usual. So I think that's always a great learning to have such high benchmarks in your club. So great to have those. And with that, I'd like to take the meeting forward without wasting any time, introduce some of our guests that have joined us today for this very special meeting. So DTM Shahid, you can help me with the guests which are here because I think they wanted to be part of Toastmaster Club, and some might be here to join the as a guest for NTMC. So I'll start off with the guest, and you can let me know if I'm including any members of Toastmasters or Delhi Club. So there's no miscommunication at our end.
Sure, Toastmaster. Thank you so much for this initiative. If I can look around, we have. Let me first correct you. I am and Amelia are both DTMs, and we first belong to your club, Noida Toastmasters. I started my journey from Noida Toastmasters Club, Amelia and me together. She started a year late. I started in July 2015. And Toastmaster Bhagwan knows me very well because he is Bhagwan and omnipresent. And I really miss that club. The founder of your club, Toastmaster, she's not a Toastmaster right now. Poonam Jain is my mentor, and I really miss NTMC meetings on these weekends because they clash with my club meetings right now. And to inform you, I became a DTM when I joined NTMC. I left NTMC after I became a DTM. So first, I am an alumni of NTMC, and then I am a member of TMOD. With this, I would like to once again thank you all the ECs of NTMC and TMOD for having this joint meeting. It was really a surprise for me. I became the GE, and just because that is my staple role in any meeting when you have to fill in the roles. The VP Education approaches me if you can be the GE, and he thinks that I'm the staple GE for every meeting. Coming to the guests, right now we have two guests who I can recognize from my end. One is Neha Latwal. She's a guest. She recently connected with me. And the other is Ritika Garg.
Ritika is a member. I'm sorry.
Okay. Ritika is a member now. Okay. Pardon me. So I have only one guest from TMOD, that is Neha Latwal. I can see Toastmaster, ex-Toastmaster Kazmeen. I can also see Deep Jyoti, who are not part of my club, must be guests from your end. I would like you to please take their introductions and take the meeting forward. Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Shahid. First of all, I just wanted to point out the calmness and well-structured way that you spoke. I think I'm feeling like I'm speaking gibberish right now, but kudos to you, sir. So moving on, I think I'll take introduction starting with the guest, Deep Jyoti. So if you could come to the stage, introduce yourself very briefly, tell us what brought you to Toastmasters.
हेलो
Hi.
जी मैं दीपजी डिजानी, मैं एक स्टूडेंट हूँ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट की, और अभी मेरी इंग्लिश उतनी बेटर नहीं है कि मैं प्रॉपर इंग्लिश में कम्युनिकेट कर पाऊँ, तो आप लोगों को अगर प्रॉब्लम हो उससे तो प्लीज से समथिंग अबाउट दिस। बस मैं नोएडा में ही रहती हूँ और आज ही मैंने इसके बारे में मुझे पता चला तो मैं सोचा कि इसको ज्वाइन करा जाए तो, ताकि सेल्फ इम्प्रूवमेंट हो इससे अपना।
Thank you, Deep Jyoti. I don't think English is Hindi is or English or Hindi both are a barrier to joining Toastmasters, being part of it.
जी,
So you're more than welcome.
जी, thank you so much.
Next, moving on to VJ. But come to the stage, give a brief introduction about yourself and what brought you to Toastmasters.
Hello.
My guest Vijay. Moving on, a short of time.
Yeah,
Back on. Okay, please introduce yourself, guest Vijay.
my name is Vijay, and I'm from the last few years. I was looking to join Toastmasters, but somehow I could not manage to join just because of official engagements and due to lacking of time. So this time I feel that I have plenty of space to join Toastmasters and to enhance my communication and stage fright, to overcome on stage fright and nervousness in front of international clients. So these are few barriers which I feel I need to, by joining Toastmasters. Somebody suggests me to join Toastmasters to overcome these barriers. So I come across those things, and I found that I need to join Toastmasters this time. I have much space, and also I can enhance, I can overcome those barriers.
Thank you, Vijay, for the introduction. Moving on, I'm seeing yes, Sonali. I think you've been in our club before as well. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Sonali today. So I joined Toastmaster when I was in Ladakh. Currently, I'm in Noida. So I have completed my masters in commerce, then post graduation in water sanitation and hygiene. I was in Ladakh for my Narupa fellowship, and currently it is completed. So I came back to Noida.
We have a great session today. Moving on, we have guest Sagar Bhalla. So if you could come to the stage and introduce yourself.
Here is our member from our side.
Okay, sorry, misunderstanding. So Toastmaster Sagar, if you could rename yourself to TM Sagar, yeah, great. Next, we have guest Neha Latwal. And please come to the stage and introduce yourself.
Hi Manish, I'm Neha Latwal. I'm working in FedEx and I'm here to enhance my communication skills. So that's it.
Great, thank you for keeping it such.
Thank you.
So I think that covers everyone. I'm seeing guest Aman Kumar. Is he a guest? Guest Aman, please come to the stage, introduce yourself, what brought you to Toastmasters.
Yeah, hi, I'm on this side. So I'm here to gain confidence while speaking and overcome the fear that I have while speaking in front of a lot of audience. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a wonderful place to be in, Toastmasters, to get over all these humps of public speaking and nervousness while speaking. That has definitely helped. I would vouch for all our members here. That has definitely helped him. I think that will be a great place for you to start this journey as well. So lastly, we have guest Komal Nag. Guest Komal, if you could introduce yourself.
Yes, hi everyone. I have joined Toastmasters Noida Club in around 2016, and I think I have been there for 2-3 months, and then I got a job in Gurgaon and I moved there. And now, after so long, I just thought to join the meeting back. Yeah.
Great, great. I think you're quite familiar with the ethos of Toastmasters in general.
Yeah, most of
An
them.
intro about that. Great. I think that covers everyone. Is any guest missing? They can raise their hands, come to the stage and introduce themselves.
Master
Yeah,
Manish,
DTM Shahid. Yeah.
we have in our presence a dignitary from the district leaders, Toastmaster Mayank Khatri. He is the area director of our club and also a member of my club, Toastmasters of Delhi. Please help me welcome and acknowledge Area Director P3, Toastmaster Mayank Khatri. as is customary of any club meeting, that we should introduce this to
Thank you, Shahid sir, for introducing me.
TTM Shahid, you're on mute.
Yes, over to your Toastmaster Bleach.
Thank you, TTM Shahid. So I think with that, the initial proceedings are done and we can move on to the meeting. So starting off with then Toastmaster Bhagwan. So Toastmaster Bhagwan has been a member of Toastmasters Club for more than 3 years now, and he's been the pillar of Noida Toastmasters Club as far as I can say. So he has been there in the club ever since I joined, and most probably before that as well. And there's a unique thing about him is whenever he used to come to the stage physically, people were ready to be holding their stomachs because he used to make us laugh so hard. I think that's something you can expect from Toastmaster Bhagwan. So with that, I would hand over the stage to Toastmaster Bhagwan, who will be talking more about do we need memory. So with a warm round of applause, please welcome Toastmaster Bhagwan to the stage.
You don't exactly have to read minds, but you do need to use your superpower.
Over to you, Toastmaster Bhagwan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manish. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I'm excited to be the TMOD of this joint meeting. I welcome the members and the guest of the Toastmaster of Delhi, as well as the member and the guest of Noida Toastmaster Club to this August meeting. This is a joint meeting. I think this is the second joint meeting that is happening with Toastmaster of Delhi. This is incredible. That shows the trust factor between these two clubs. And back to back, we are meeting for the joint meeting. Coming to the theme of the meeting, the theme of the meeting says, do we need memory? I think I can rephrase it. Memory may fail you sometime. I'll tell you one story. Somebody was working with me. One day, a request came from a vendor that, sir, our payment has not been released. I asked my subordinate, find out why the payment has not been made. He instantly said, sir, the payment has been made. Without checking into the software, ERP system, he instantly said that, sir, the payment has been made out of his memory. And after that, since the vendor has not received the payment, so he complained to the chief financial officer of the company. And chief financial officer again asked me that, what is the status of payment to this vendor? Why is complaining to me and why is coming to me? Then again, I asked my subordinate, please find out and go to the system. Sir, I'm 100% sure the payment has been made. And the same thing I communicated to the CFO. But then I had to cut a sorry figure over there because the payment was not made. So that means whenever we are seeing this kind of situation in our work life, in our life as well, we tend to recall our memory and act accordingly. But memory sometimes fail. And in this particularly the information age, when the technology is booming, the AI is there, the blockchain is there, so many newer technologies are coming, server is there, your cloud is there, Google is there, Facebook is there, so many things are there. So this question comes to me, do we still need the memory? I want the answer from one of you. Probably I will go directly to our favorite Toastmaster, Sahid Anwar Rafi. DTM Sahid, kindly tell us that do we still need memory in this information age?
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhagwan. Yes, in a sense, yes, and in another sense, on a philosophical level, yes, we need memory. On a practical level, no, we don't need it. My father used to remember almost 250 phone numbers when he used to work on the landline, and he had a directory of numbers written, telephone directory of numbers written. And I was his what do you call, Scrooge, the person who could not even remember his own home number. I still till date cannot remember my home landline number. And at that time also, I used to look up the directory, and I was always being scolded by my father. And I used to wish that something of this kind happens, that I don't have to remember any numbers. And suddenly smartphone happened. Today, I don't have to remember any number. I just have to tell Alexa or Siri or whatever Google has presented to us, and the number comes to on our screen, and we dial. And it is very strange that once someone asked me what was my wife's number, and I did not remember it. So that is one of the reasons why you should have a memory, a good memory. At least you can remember the number of your wife, otherwise you are in a bad soup. I hope that clears my question.
That's great. So, in spite of having not remembering your landline number, still you manage the show, isn't it? So that is how the power of information technology that is happening right now, and it is already started so many years back. Here, I like to tell all of you that there are two kinds of memory. One is to live our life, where the memory is most important, like to eat, to recognize who is who is your child, who is your wife, to recognize your parents, and to do the daily task. And whatever the body needs also, that we want to do that. And for that, we need a physical memory, for which the motor skills is very much important. And that is due to God's grace that is being bestowed on everybody, except the Alzheimer patients. Rest, I think you can do away with the memory at all, altogether, unless and until you are a student. If you're a student, then probably you need to have the good memory, because you have to write the exam, you need to remember so many things. Otherwise, I think so many things are there. If your boss is asking you, suppose you are dealing with income tax matter, and you know the subject income tax matter. So if a case comes up to you, then you don't need to remember and just refer to that case, and probably you may answer it accordingly. This is I mean, without your, if you are remembering it, it is very good indeed. If you are not remembering, still you can manage the show and douse the fire. So this way, there are so many hacks that is there, that how without the memory itself, how we can do our things. Like sometimes we are forgetting our keys. What is the best way? Like you should have a key holder in a particular place. Wherever you are coming to your home or going out from your home, your eyes should go to that particular key holder. It is not that you are keeping your keys here and there. Similarly, if you are going to office, always have an office bag where everything is sorted, everything is there. You don't need to run for the things at the time of going to the office. At that time, you may miss out something. So this way, we can solve so many memory problems that day to day we are facing. You might have experience. Suppose you are cooking something, and you needed something which is there in the fridge, and you had come to the fridge, but you forgot what to take from the fridge. Totally forgot. Is this happens with you or not? So there the memory, that means your memory is not acting at all. So that is, your short-term memory is not acting at all. So in that way, you are failing in memorizing the things. But there are different hacks in which we can do our things. And the one famous quote I remember, Narayan Murthy. Narayan Murthy had said that in God we believe, but rest all have to bring the data to the table. That means we believe the God. Even if you are my friend, still then you need to show the data. Still then, even if you are a relative, still then you need to data and convince. Because if you are not acting on the basis of the data and you are acting on the basis of memory, so much of information is evolving day by day. You know, once a plane strikes the land, 3 million of data is generated. How much information you can memorize? So that way, we can have the memory, reserved for certain things which are very, very essential. The rest we can depend upon all these hacks that we are going to discuss about. With this, let us move ahead in our meeting. The meeting is lined up. We have 3 sections in the meeting. The first is prepared speech section, where we have 2 prolific speakers are there. One Toastmaster Nidhi and other one Toastmaster Bhavna from Toastmaster of Delhi, and thereafter followed by the table topic session. And after that, we have the evaluation section. That is the bread and butter of the Toastmaster meeting. As the meeting is beginning, I request all of you to use the word of the day. And for the word of the day, we have a grammarian and the word of the day master. He is, just a minute. Toastmaster Devesh Yadav. Toastmaster Devesh Yadav, kindly share the word of the meeting.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhagwan. Can you grant me co-hosting rights, because I am not able to share word of the day?
Sure, sir. I'll take the help of Toastmaster Manish or Toastmaster Pankaj. Kindly extend.
You have the rights, Toastmaster Devesh. Toastmaster Devesh, please check now.
Okay, yes, I have been granted. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. My name is Devesh, and I am the Grammarian and Word Master of the day for today's meeting. My role will be threefold today. The first role will be to notice the awkward usage of words and the misuse of language. I will, in particular, be noticing the incomplete sentences and incorrect grammar. My second role will be to note the creative use or good use of language. And the third one will be to notice the use of word of the day, which is erratic. I will share the screen for this. Yes, erratic is an adjective and the pronunciation is erratic. Erratic, not erratic. It's used for a situation which have no fixed course, where there is lack of consistency, there's lack of regularity and uniformity. Is everyone able to see the content I have shared online? Hello?
Yes, it is there.
Okay. So examples could be erratic dieting. So if somebody started dieting and they might say that my dieting has been erratic. And if someone is having working hours which are on and off and not very consistent, so they might say that I have erratic working hours. Erratic could also be used for behavior. For example, erratic behavior, for behavior which is not consistent, which cannot be predicted. So the connotation of this word is usually in a negative sense. It is not having a positive meaning. Thank you so much. At the end of the meeting, I will, when called by my general evaluator, will be presenting my report. Thank you so much.
So whenever someone uses the word "what the day" erratic, we are going to say, we are going to show the thumbs up, right? Is it clear to everyone? Now let us move ahead. We have one person who is not at all erratic. You know that? He is very systematic. He is very consistent. He is there in the Toastmasters since so many years. And you know what is the full form of DTM and how it is achieved? DTM, after giving around 60 speeches in the pathways, you are going to earn the title. Sorry, 30 speeches. Around 30 speeches you have to give it, and you have to take a easy position as well. Thereafter only you are going to be eligible as a DTM, and we have one such DTM. Rather, we had two, but I think Toastmaster Amelia is missing today. So Toastmaster Sahid, the general evaluator of the day. Let us welcome Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Sahid. Over to you, Sahid.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhagwan. Thank you for this beautiful introduction. Today, DTM Shahid is your general evaluator. It's been a long time since I visited NTMC offline, and it is a pleasure to be with NTMC members online. And I wish that we have such meetings more often. As the general evaluator, my role is to evaluate the meeting in general. That is what my status says. And also, I have a team of role players who will be helping me in evaluating the speakers and the participants of the meeting. I call them my tag team. And also, there is a fun person in the meeting who is called the active listener. I call upon them one by one on stage. They will give us their objectives of their meeting, and I would like them to be very short so that they can have enough time while they are reporting. Please help me welcome the timer of the day, Toastmaster Abhishek Pandey from NTMC. Toastmaster Abhishek. Do I see Toastmaster Abhishek?
Yes, he's on mute.
Toastmaster. Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. So I am Toastmaster Abhishek, and I would be the timer of the today's meeting. For the benefits of the guests and the new members, I would like to express the role of the timer. One of the hallmarks of the great speaker is to express his idea, his point of view, and that too within a limited time frame. As a timer, I would be responsible for keeping the time limit or time record of our all level speakers. So we have 3 segments in our meeting. For the prepared speakers, I would flash the green card at the end of. I am not getting sharing rights. I'm not. Okay. Okay. At the end of the 5 minutes for the prepared speakers, I would flash the green card, and at the end of the 6 minutes, I would flash yellow card, and at the end of the 7 minute, I would flash red card. For the table topic session, I would flash the green card at the end of 1 minute. For the at the end of 1.5 minute, I will flash the yellow card, and at the end of 2 minutes, I will flash the red card. For the evaluation section, I will flash the green card at the end of 2 minutes, yellow card at the end of 2.5 minutes, and at the end of 3 minutes, I will flash the red card. I will present my report at the end of the meeting. Over to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Sahib.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek. I would now like to call upon stage the counter of the day, Toastmaster Rohan Bansal, to give his objectives. Toastmaster Rohan Bansal.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. The purpose of clear evaluation is to present your argument in a very clear way, concise way, in a coherent way. Now, sometimes what happens is some words like cut sounds are come in the way when you place undue stress or you're overthinking about what you have to say, or filler words such as and, but, so, you know, and so on and so forth. And these cause disruptions when you try to communicate your message to the audience. So my role here as our counter today is to make a note and keep a tracker of all the filler words and the cut sounds used by each speaker in the meeting today. And I'll be presenting my report at the end when called upon by the General Evaluator. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Shai.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rohan. I would now like to call upon stage the grammarian of the day once again, Toastmaster Deven. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Devin as the grammarian.
Thank you, General Evaluator. As I have explained earlier, I will be the grammarian. I will be noticing the awkward use and misuse of language, incomplete sentences, and incorrect grammar. I will also notice the creative use and good use of the language, which people will use throughout the meeting. I will also notice how the word of the day is being used by different users, and I will take note of these three aspects of the grammar. I will present my report when called upon by the General Evaluator. Thank you so much, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Devesh. I would now like to call upon the goodies giver, the person who provides goodies in offline meetings, but definitely he'll give you outline hearts in his session. Please help me welcome the active listener of the day, Toastmaster Kabir Talwar, to give us the objectives of his role. Toastmaster Kabir Talwar.
Thank you, General Evaluator, sir, and good afternoon to all fellow Toastmasters and guests. It is a pleasure being in this meeting and with these distinguished guests and everyone here. My thoughts on the theme today. The theme today is memory, and active listener as well as all the Toastmasters and the guests. They have to use their memory a lot today, so that they can be active listeners, and they would need to use it and answer the question that I'm going to ask. I am the active listener of the day. I'll be listening closely to everything that is said during the meeting and will ask questions in order to test our listening skills during the general evaluation section. While we can't hand out goodies online, all correct answers come with bragging rights, which you shall have, and I'm sure you will use that. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kabir. With this, I would like to hand over the stage back to our TMOD, and I'll be back in my third session. Over to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Bhagwan.
Thank you, DTM Sahid, for that wonderful introduction of the role, your role, as well as all the supplementary role players. We all have one thing for sure, that is photographic memory. Once we see the photo, we have the memory in our hand, in our mind, isn't it? How many of you agree that you have a photographic memory? How many of you? Yeah, everybody has a photographic memory. But what is the problem? We are lacking that film to produce, isn't it? Now, let us move ahead with the speaker number one. The speaker number one is Toastmaster Nidhi Saini. I'll share something interesting about her. Toastmaster Nidhi Saini. Toastmaster Nidhi means a lifelong seeker. And she chooses to be the omnivore in her interaction with the world. She never shies away from taking risks and is learning how to cope up with how to take the calculated risk. Talking about today's theme, memory, she feels her memory fails her miserably at times, like names since childhood. She can still recall faces after years, but names, oh my God. So that I think that is a problem might have happened with most of us. We might be seeing, we recall that. That's why I say we all have that photographic memory. Once we see that photo, oh, I have seen this guy, I have seen this guy. But as far as recalling the name, we go blank. Thanks to the smartphone and easy access to them, she makes her own references and cues to show off that her memory is great. With the smartphone, as well as this social media and the information technology, she is able to navigate the difficulty of sometimes this memory poses on us. That's a great thing. She's going to give a speech. Before I call her to the stage, may I call her evaluator, Toastmaster Sagar Bhalla. Toastmaster Sagar Bhalla, kindly share the project detail of Toastmaster Nidhi. Over to you, Sagar.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Hello, fellow Toastmaster and dear guest. I hope you all are doing good. So today's speaker is going to deliver level 1 project 3 from the pathways visionary communication, and the purpose of the project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well organized, well researched speech on any topic. I wish speaker best of luck, and timer, please do note time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmaster Nidhi Saini, the art of codependency, the art of codependency. Toastmaster Nidhi Saini.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhagwan. Thank you so much, everybody. So as I researched more about my speech today, I actually realized that I, in the past, nurtured a particular relationship where I nurtured it with the fear of abandonment, with the fear of rejection, and to such a big extent that I was ignoring my own desires. And I became extremely concerned about the other person's behavior. And so much so that I forgot who I was. Has any one of you ever been in such a relationship with a friend, with a family member, colleague, a partner, where you actually gave more of yourself and you really forgot yourself? Anybody here feels you've done that ever? Okay, no worries. I'll still move on. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Let me share with you the very thin line on which each one of us travels as we live. The thin line of codependency. Sounds like a sophisticated word, right? Let me quickly educate you with what is codependency. So back in 1936, Dr. Bob and Bill W., they came up with a 12-step group, which was called the Alcoholics Anonymous group. And this particular group was for people, it was supposed to help people who had alcohol or drug addiction of some kind. But as time progressed, as years passed, when more research happened on it, they realized it was not just about these people. It was also about the people who were associated with these addicts. And that's when the whole focus shifted on the relationships of these people who were associated with them. And in the 1980s, a group of psychologists coined this term codependency. So earlier, when codependency was only about substance abuse, how a person is dependent on a substance, now codependency was more about relationships. It was aimed at those who were not strong enough to support themselves as individuals. They needed somebody's support to survive. And the best thing is they were people pleasers, and each time they would get into a relationship, they would get into a similar type of relationship. So has any one of you ever experienced or seen people in such a relationship? Anybody here? You can keep writing in the chat box, considering that it's a virtual platform. So while all relationships require a certain amount of give and take, but a codependent relationship where there's a lot of codependency is an unhealthy one. Here, there are two people. One is a passive one and one is a dominant one. Now, the passive one takes more, but gives a lot more of himself or herself in that relationship because they want to feel loved. They want to feel validated. That's all they know. They cannot survive alone. And that's what codependency is about. Now, according to the Mental Health Organization America, codependency is often referred to as a relationship addiction because it's really harmful. Just like any form of addiction, even this is very harmful. And as per, I'm just sharing my screen to show you something because you might just forget what I say. As per the IPA analysis 2018 research review, when a lot of people were studied who were codependents, a pattern, a particular theme appeared. And the theme which appeared was what you see on the screen right now. And so the 4 patterns, the first thing, denial. I'm sure if any one of you has ever seen or been in a codependent relationship, or if you are a codependent, the person will never agree to it that they are a codependent. They'll deny it. They'll give all kinds of excuses. The second was low self-esteem. Any person who has low self-esteem would not have confidence in themselves. They would need somebody else, and they would comply with the other person's needs at any cost, even if it's at their own cost. And a codependent person would always feel the need to control the other person, that just because of them, the other person can change their behavior. That is something that happens. How many of you feel that this is a possibility? Okay, so this particular theme, these patterns were not only predominant how you are dealing with somebody else, this is also predominant how you relate to yourself, how you treat yourself. And a codependent person would actually treat himself or herself in a similar manner. Now, as I move forward, I also had a lot of debate about why codependency happens, and I was really intrigued because I have been a codependent for 44 years of my life. I was. And I wanted to know what is the reason behind it. And as I tried to find out more, I researched. Thanks to Google, I don't need to go anywhere. I can just sit in front of my computer and I can just research through a lot of sites and papers and a lot of studies that have been done. I found out that codependency is usually rooted in childhood. And now think about it. A child who's growing in an environment where the emotions are being ignored or they are being punished, they're not being acknowledged, the child has low self-esteem. He feels ashamed about showing emotions. This is how the child grows. He absorbs this and he gives it out when he's an adult. That's how he becomes a codependent. And I didn't have to think too much about it, because when I look back at my life during my growing up years, I very clearly remember that my emotions, or our emotions in my household, were, in my family, were more considered like a blackmail, to get things done. And as I grew, I was dependent on external relationships a lot. It took me 44 years to come out of it and become a healthy codependent. And I'm a proud, healthy codependent today. So another interesting fact I wanted to know, is this a disorder? And as I researched, I again came to know that Timon Cermak, he's a psychologist, he wanted to frame this as a personality disorder, but there's no medical consensus. But yes, those of you who know psychology might agree that the attachment theory in psychology can be used to understand the attachment in adults. That's how it works. So all through this research, I just came to know it's all deep rooted. I want to talk to you quickly about how I have summarized how you can live this art of codependency and how you can become a healthy codependent. So after 13 odd articles and papers, I studied very quickly 5 simple steps. Practice self-love. Reconnect with other people. Take time out for yourself. Stand up for yourself and say no, and seek guidance if it's needed. Don't shy away from it. Ladies and gentlemen, the most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving somebody so much and forgetting that you are special too. So the art of codependency might be tough, but it's definitely worth learning. And do ask yourself, are you a codependent? Are you on the thin line? Which side are you? Thank you so much for hearing me out.
A big round of applause for Toastmaster Nidhi Saini for delivering that speech so wonderfully. Codependency, in fact, I was also not knowing. I think I mispronounced also. I agree to this. And most of us may not be knowing about codependency. Thank you, Toastmaster Nidhi. You said really a vital thing about codependency. Let us move ahead to the second speaker. Second speaker is Toastmaster Bhavna Sharma. Toastmaster Bhavna Sharma, let me tell you about her. She is a hardcore finance student. She is pursuing her CA final and currently working also. as an intern in the design firm, as a design intern in a startup. In her free time, she loves to sing, spend time in nature, and read books. Wow. Let us, before I call her to the stage, let me call his evaluator, sorry, her evaluator, Toastmaster Muthu Kumar, rediscovering, sorry, Toastmaster Muthu Kumar, are you there?
Yep.
Yeah, over to you. Kindly share the project details of Toastmaster Bhavna Sharma.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhagwan, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. It's always bring goosebumps to be part of NTMC meeting. And after seeing few names after pretty long time, my emotions are so surreal and erratic. Let me come to the evaluation form. Toastmaster Bhavna Sharma is going to deliver a speech from a Pathways Persuasive Influence. Our project is P3L3. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. I wish the speaker, Toastmaster Bhavna, all the very best. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Sorry, you're on mute, Toastmaster Bhagwan.
Toastmaster Bhavna Sharma, are you ready?
Yes.
Good. Toastmaster Bhavna Sharma, rediscovering your identity. Rediscovering your identity, Toastmaster Bhavna Sharma.
Have you ever wondered who you are without an employee of XYZ company? Would you still have an identity of your own if you were to quit your job tomorrow? One of the most dreaded questions that I personally faced after I quit my job at any party or any birthday party was, "Beta, what do you do?" Now, this question indirectly implies, how do you make a living? I know this can be really soul crunching for people who quit their jobs and feel a little lost in life. But there are ways that I discovered through real life experiences that I'm more than happy to share with you all today. Good evening, wonderful Toastmasters and beautiful guests. Our job fills a major part of our lives. We spend more than 8 to 9 hours of the 24 hours that we have on our jobs. We get attached to our designation and we start feeling a little insecure to leave the job, even if it is something that do not make us very happy. But then again, as I said, there are ways that we can start building up on a foundation so that we are ready to quit something which is depleting us of our energy to move ahead in life towards something that will bring out the best in us and help us contribute better back to the society. Number one, always try to have 2 or at least one other thing that will consume a major chunk of your life other than your job. By major chunk, I do not mean time-wise or quantity-wise, but I mean to say something that will give you a meaning in life. Like, for example, for me, if I sing for an hour a day, it really makes me happy. It makes me feel that I have something apart from the job that describes me as an individual. So it's essential that we find for something, and preferably a thing through which we can contribute back to society. I say this because when we leave our jobs, the biggest reason why we feel lost is that we do not feel needed anymore. True and lasting happiness comes from giving back to the society. It can be anything, starting from teaching underprivileged kids in your area, or simply making motivational videos on YouTube if you like to create content. Second, building up a foundation for a second source of income. This can be active or passive income.
Now, passive income is something like investing in real estate or simply in the mutual funds or in the stock market, wherein you get returns while you sleep. Active income, on the other hand, is slightly difficult, but in today's world, I would say it's comparatively easier because there are ample opportunities through which you can earn a living by being a freelancer and selling your skills online. So number one was looking for something that you do apart from your job. It's very essential. And second, creating a second source of income. With this, I come to my third point, which is waking up early. I know as millennials, we hate this, but believe me, starting your day in a hurried manner is wrong. We start burning out. We wake up in the morning, rush to our offices, we come back and we sleep, and we have no clue about what we are doing in life and why. So morning is the best time to sit with yourself, listen to your inner thoughts, connect to your soul, and try to understand why and what you're doing and where you are heading towards in life. So those 2 to 3 hours in the morning will actually help you to lead your life through a very different perspective. Number 4 is, and this is one of the most important ones from my experience, is creating a social life outside office. Now, here is where Toastmasters helped me. It's not wrong to hang around with your office people, but we do need to make an effort to reach out to people that we really love or be a part of a community and have a circle outside office so that even if you have to leave our job someday, we're not left alone and depressed in life. So always make sure to build up on at least 2 other people or a group of 4 people with whom you're going to spend some time outside office. And this doesn't come for free. People are busy. We have to make an effort to call them up and speak to them, even if it's for 5 to 10 minutes weekly, because this helps to create meaningful relations. And the last one is practicing spirituality. This is something which will help us to feel a sense of belongingness to this world. All our problems arise from the fact that our soul, mind, and body get disaligned. And we need to align them in such a way that we feel complete mentally as well as physically. And spirituality will keep you in balance, will keep you calm, and help you to deal with difficult situations in life much better. My dear friends, do not rely just on your job or on your designation to give meaning in life. It's very important to make a life rather than making a living. So no matter what your designation is, what your tag or title is, you belong to you. And before anything else or anybody else, you belong to yourself. So embrace, love, and nurture the beautiful being that you are and re-establish your identity independent of your job. Thank you so much. Over to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Bhagwan.
Wonderful speech. Toastmaster Bhavna Sarma, it is such a tender age. Oh my God, the maturity, what you have gained, the nuggets, what you shared, it shows your thinking process. And I'm quite sure you are going to live your dream life one day. There is no doubt about it. And one more thing I tell you, your voice is, I mean, when I heard about your voice, it's just like I heard Lata Mangeshkar voice. It was
Thank you so much.
It was quite similar to that. Great. All the best in your Toastmaster journey. I'm sure you are going to be a great speaker. Let us come to the theme of the meeting. And the theme of the meeting is, do we need memory? So for this, I have a challenge before all of you. You might have studied class 1 to 5, right? Panchvi pass. You might have all are Panchvi pass here today. So I want to ask one simple question. Can you name 10 friends who were there till your Panchvi pass? Can you tell your friends who were there in the school till you passed out your class 5? Please raise your hand. Who is going to take the challenge? Who is?
Hello, TM Bhagwan. Can you please repeat your question?
Yeah, my question is that, yeah, are you Panchvi pass?
Yes.
Good. So do you remember your friend's name?
Yes.
Very good. So friends' name who were there up to class 5, you have to name them, and you have to name 10 of them.
10.
Yes.
I remember 2, 3.
2, 3. I'm asking for 10. Who is there? I'll come to you.
Sure.
Yeah. Who is there for 10? Muthu, are you?
10, let me try.
Yeah, you can try.
Yeah,
30 seconds I am giving you. First
yeah.
30 seconds I am giving you, just you count, and if you are correct, then you can come up.
Anyway, you don't know who they are, my friends are not. I have to spell out 10 names, right? So let me try. So
Yeah.
Ramesh, Prakash, Vinod, Sashi Kumar, Sendil Kumar, Pradesh, Santosh, Lokesh. Come on, Ashok, Nagakumaran. 10.
Good. But Muthu, I have a doubt. You are from Chennai, right? All the friends' name what you said, they belong to North name. Ashok.
Come on. Vinod, Ramesh, Nagakumaran. Where you have Nagakumaran and
all these are.
I doubt, Bhagwan. So, okay. Anyway, so I'll accept. Okay, I threw some name. That's it.
I hope you have honestly answered it.
Yeah.
Joking.
No, it's definitely it's a good food for thought. In fact, we have this school groups. Technology again help.
Yeah.
We are in touch with. We help, you know,
Oh,
wishing them on their birthdays and all those things.
So you have taken your short-term memory into confidence, right? Okay. Anybody is having that long-term memory? 10 friends. Okay, now let us reduce it to 5. Who are there? Who is going to take the challenge?
Shahid.
Toastmaster Sai?
Yeah.
I can try. So
Five.
The first one is Bharti, Meenu, Ritu, Amrik Singh, Rajesh Narula, Dinesh Grover, Rakesh Kumar, Salim Kushtiwala, Ahuja. I don't remember her first name. Some Ahuja, and one was yes, Arvinder Kaur. That makes it
great. Oh. Okay, now I'll make it a little tough. Do you remember class 1 friend, at least 3 names? Class 1.
Bhagwan, so far it was easy, is it? Now
So
only
far
you are
easy.
getting it tough. Okay.
Yeah, tough. Class 1. Class 1, standard 1, 3 friends who were there in the class. Now I think
I can say.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Ashish Gupta, Aman Popli, Ira Sharma.
They are correct?
Yes, true. Honest.
How can we verify?
You can check the school register.
You can check the oath of Toastmasters. Every Toastmaster has integrity.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for participating in this memory challenge. Now let us turn to the interesting session of the meeting, that is table topic. And to conduct the table topic, we have another Toastmaster from Toastmaster of Delhi, Toastmaster Deepika Pundir. May I call you Toastmaster Deepika Pundir to the stage to conduct the TTM session, please?
Hello, yes. Thank you, TM Bhagwan. Good evening, everyone. Are you saying something, Toastmaster Bhagwan?
Oh, I got confused. It is Noida Toastmaster Club.
Noida Club.
Yeah.
No issues.
Yeah, carry on.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. So today I'm the table topic master, and for the benefit of the guest, I'll tell how it works. So I will be sharing some topics to speak. They're impromptu topics and you have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. But first I would be asking for the volunteer and then I will share the name of the topic. And you can take 30 seconds to think about the topic and then you can start. So to begin with, I request for the first volunteer to come forward. General Evaluator, Toastmaster Shahid. So I'll share my screen. If you get USD 1 million, roughly rupees 7 crores today, how will you spend it?
Oh, thank you, Toastmaster Deepika. If I get roughly 7 crore rupees in Indian rupees, is $1 billion, how would I spend it? The first thing that I would do is buy a house for my mom. My mom is living in a place where she is not happy and we have to take a lot of effort to go there because there are a lot of traffic hassles there. There are no parking areas in the place that she is living in. The first thing that I would do is buy her a house. A house costing 5 crore rupees, which has all the parkings and everything available there. For the rest of the 2 crore, I just donate it to a very good work because nowadays there is a lot of pandemic unemployment, a lot of people are starving, a lot of people are without work. I would like to donate the rest of that amount to some NGO who is working on giving some employment to people who are affected with it. That is my take on any kind of lottery that comes to you, because lotteries are a boon of God to you. We should not spend it on ourselves. It is for the people, of the people. Thank you. Over to Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmasters, Shahid. Huge respect to you for your thoughts. You are not keeping anything for yourself, and part for your mother and part for the charity. Huge respect. So moving on to the second topic, I would request the second volunteer to come up.
I would.
Toastmaster Gopal. I'm sharing my screen again.
We cannot see your screen, Toastmaster Deepika.
Oh, you cannot. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll just say it. I don't know how. So the second topic is a day without smartphone and any other gadgets, like no smart TV, no phone, pad, anything.
This is absolutely right as per the theme. As Toastmaster Bhagwan was saying that you don't have anything and you have to remember all the phone numbers. The first and foremost problem will be if I have to call anyone. That will be really very tough because I don't remember anyone's phone number. But I remembered at least my wife's number. So that is perfectly fine for me. At least I will not be beaten out because I'll be in touch with my wife. So that is perfectly fine.
But yes, smartphone has become really part of our life. And I would say that there are good thing and bad things of the technology. Like smartphone is so disruptive that whenever we are doing something, whenever we are studying, whenever we are learning, whenever we are doing anything good and any message pops up and we eager to have a look at that, whose message is that? Or sometimes it happens that I have seen that I have feel myself, I don't know about the anyone, but sometimes I take out my phone and unlock it and just tap up and down and keep it back. I don't know what this habit is. And there are so many people, you must be agreed that it happens with we people. We go and see that whether there is some message in WhatsApp or not, whether there is something new in the Facebook or not. And we keep on doing that, which is really very bad habit and we should avoid that. We should start living without smartphone, without any gadget, because we have used, at least I have used that life where there were no smartphone. But in today's new generation, they don't know how to live without smartphone. Even I feel that it's really very tough to live without smartphone. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gopal. I agree with your point, and I think most of us would agree there that we all have a habit of checking our phones and social media sites to check for updates. But it is always a good idea to take a day break or the technology detox, so to connect with your own self and think about your life. Thank you, Toastmaster Gopal, for your views. Moving on, for the third topic, I request for the volunteers. I would request if the guest would come up and volunteer.
Yeah, we have a few comments in the comment section.
Guest Kumar.
Yeah.
So I'll share the third topic. So it is, what would you do if you become invisible for a day? You can take 30 seconds to think about it, or you can start anyway.
Yeah, please give me 30 seconds. Hello, fellow Toastmasters. There is a level of naughtiness in us, each and every one of us. Everyone, no matter we grow up, we are naughty at heart. So I would do the naughtiest of things when I would be invisible. I would go in my favorite restaurant and I would pick up anything, or I would go to shopping mall. I would pick up clothes, and people would be amazed how this clothes, like you watch Mr. India, people would be amazed how these clothes are in the air moving and all that. So I would be taking all the stuff without giving any money with me. And I can pick up in a mall, I can pick up the key of anyone from their desk if they are eating something on the table, and I can take away their car, luxury car. I would do all those naughty things in a positive way, not to become a robber, but and I would like to, and I would also like to know what other people talk about me in my absence. I would like to go near if I'm in my office, I will become invisible and go near my boss, what he is talking, what he talks about behind our back. So there are tons of benefits of being invisible. I wish I can get that superpower, but I I will not be able to get that. But thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepika, for giving me the opportunity to become invisible. Over to you.
Thank you, guest Kumar. Appreciate your views. But I think just my view that it will not be a very good idea to know about your boss's view or your other people, friends, family's view. It will disturb you the rest of the days.
Right, totally agree.
Thank you so much. It was a very good speech. Moving on to the next topic, I have volunteers. Guest Vijay wants to speak. So would you go next, guest Vijay?
Yeah. Karika.
So the next topic is, would you holiday in mountains or at the beach? Question.
Yeah, beach.
Okay, so you can speak about it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely my preference would go with to spend time on the beach because there are lots of creativity exists inside the beach. If I'm taking the example of Goa, then there I can swim the bank of the beach and I can enjoy lots of music. And also one of the most um, crucial point is their security guards are available there when there is a uh, lots of waves. I mean, forcefully waves coming towards yours or others. So they are standing to save as a safeguard so that you cannot flow with the waves inside the sea. So and also you can enjoy music. You can enjoy lots of drinks if you are interested in if you are alcoholic, irrespective of alcohol or other and other party also you can enjoy. But yes, definitely I would preference would go with beach because mountains are definitely good, but as what I feel not good as creativity, creative from the creative aspects, they are lacking some sports activity. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you, guest Vijay. Yes, beaches are a great place for holiday. And also the sea shows you the vastness of life. So it's a good place to connect with yourself also. And if you practice spirituality, it's a great place. Moving on to the next topic, guest Neha would like to speak. Guest Neha, would you go for the next topic?
Yes.
Okay, so the next topic is, it's again a question, eat to live or live to eat?
Deepika, I would like to choose live to eat.
Okay. All right, you can take 30 seconds if you want, or you can continue.
Okay. Deepika, I think, I'm vegetarian, so I would like to always try to new things in vegetarian food. So it's a small, for me, I would say that it's a small life we have. So we should try all the kind of food. And as my mother really like to cook food for us, whenever we ask her anything, she's always ready. In fact, if I ask anything for around at the night, 11 or 12 p.m., she's ready to cook anything. So I always try to eat everything. But yes, and I would also like to serve to people as well. That's it.
Thank you, Neha. Food is, of course, part of everybody's important aspect of life. Some people live to eat and some people eat to live. So it's everybody's personal choice. Moving on to the next topic, guest Sonali, would you like to come up for the next topic?
Yes.
So the topic is my marriage. You can speak anything about it. And if you are unmarried, you can speak about your plans for marriage.
So about marriage, okay. Um, I should say, okay. So my father is searching for someone for marriage, but that's why we discuss a lot about it when I wanted to get married with my father directly, because I think it should be clear from my side what I want in life. So first I want to make my career. So for that I'm applying for various job. Once I'll get job, I'll think about it. And yeah, I want someone who can be my friend, more than a life partner. So I would prefer someone who can be equal to my status and can be my friend and not a burden. And there are certain things I hate about marriages, that after marriage a woman have to do all the household things, and their family become dependent on her, like so that I would love to discuss clearly with my husband, means future husband, that this won't work with me. I will work after marriage and I will talk to him clearly about what kind of person I'm and what I want in life. So there will be no any problem in future that you didn't discuss this and you are talking about this. So I'll clearly put my demand first. That's it.
Thank you, guest Sonali. Yes, it's a very big decision of life, and it's important to set your expectations and the ground rules before you officially get engaged.
Yeah, this is what I personally believe, that what you are as a person, so you should discuss clearly, because in arranged marriage you don't discuss things which is not fair, because you have to spend the whole of your life with that person. So you should be clear with the things.
Yeah, true. So moving on to the next topic, Toastmaster of the day, TM Bhagwan. Do we have time? Because we have had around 7 topics.
I think I think that is enough for the day, because the meeting has to be completed by 5:30.
Okay.
So keeping in view of that, we have an evaluation section also lined up. Thank you, Deepika, for that wonderful session, table topic session. Your topic were really awesome,
Thank you so
and they are really authentic.
My
Now
focus
let
is
us.
erratic while thinking about the topics.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
So you are new now, so you will gain the ground as soon as you are going in your Toastmaster journey forward. Coming to the theme of the meeting, memory. Some people are very good in remembering the names. Some people are very good in remembering the numbers. How is it that somebody is remembering the names and somebody is remembering the numbers? How it is? What works actually?
Join the sales
Can anybody
join the sales profession? You will remember the numbers. Take a housing loan. You'll remember the date.
Great. Yeah, it is being said that those people who are working in the numbers, like data and all, like we have a CA also, CA student, Toastmaster Bhavna Sarma. I think she might be very good in number, and it may be possible she may be very good in remembering the names also. But generally, it has been seen that those who are remembering the numbers may not be remembering the names. So what is your importance in your life? That actually decides what kind of memory you are going to have. If you are people centric, you are meeting with so many people all throughout, you are going to remember the people name, definitely. But if you are working with the numbers like housing loan you have taken, credit card dues, all those dues are piling up. So I think you might be remembering the numbers very well. So let us, with this, now let us conduct the poll session of the meeting. The first poll session of the meeting. I would request Toastmaster Sibai to conduct the poll, please.
Master Bhagwan, Toastmaster Shivai has joined from a while today, so he won't be able to conduct it. I am conducting in his behalf. Just requesting all the people who have asked for the co-host permission to withdraw them. Easier for me. I'll give it.
I'll make sure that I don't go invisible again. I'll definitely make sure. I definitely missed you both.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Fazil. I did not know you had
to see the energy and old members meeting.
I just wanted to say something, Manish.
Sure. Please go ahead.
From the today's meeting, what I feel, and from the last few years, I was thinking I might be too much busy, but I memorized one quote which I learned in my early days. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So I feel that I was thinking I'm in comfort zone, but now I feel I need to come out from the comfort zone and join such a great session so that I can enhance not only myself as well as I can contribute to Toastmasters.
Totally. Very well said. Toastmaster Bhagwan, you want to get in some last words in?
Hi, Amelia. We missed you.
Hello, Bhagwan.
Yeah.
Glad to see. I'm doing well. Glad to see you guys.
Yeah.
Yes, I had to miss this meeting. There was some things going on, so unfortunately I had to. I didn't want to. But I'm glad I'm here and I'm seeing you guys together. So that's a beautiful picture that is there now for me to cherish for more days to come.
I think we should have one group photo.
Oh, yes. I was about to say
Manish,
that.
can you take a group photo, please?
Can we all please go on video right now? All of you.
Please switch on your cams.
Unfortunately, I will not be able to switch on my cam right now. If it is okay, please excuse me.
It's okay.
Share your
Can you switch on your camera?
So if anyone wants to make any poses, feel free.
PJ Indru. Thank you. Great.
Done. Thank you everyone for joining today.
For your sense of humor is really amazing. We enjoyed. How did you
I love that.
that?
Active listening session was great.
Yeah.
Guys, I would like to compare Toastmasters to the rodeos, the cowboys of the West. There are two kinds of people, people who are riding the horse and people who are sitting and watching people who are riding the horse. If you have not joined Toastmasters, not renewed, or are still waiting on the fence, watching the horses, then you are missing something. Please do join the rodeo show of Toastmasters, ride on and learn so much of the horse that is public speaking. This is one of the best horses that you will ride in your life. I have some reinstated members from my club like Toastmaster Kabir. We also had Toastmaster Bhavna last year who joined once again, and look at the journey. She has completed level 3 in the last 6 months. She's actually the best cowgirl of our club. She's riding the horse very well and she's going to be a fantastic speaker very soon. With that, I would like to close from my end. If you still have some chit chat going on, we would love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Congratulations.